Hey everyone, it's Chris here, the Casual Flipper. Today I want to discuss reselling in Canada. I don't see a lot of content online about resellers in Canada, so I'm hoping to be a bridge to kind of connect everyone together. I'm sure there are some big accounts out there that are doing this, but I haven't at least found them yet. So hopefully along my journey, I'll kind of meet them and we can kind of bridge this huge gap across the country. Because reselling in Canada is very different than the States and other parts of the world for one key reason. I mean, there's multiple, but for me, the main difference that I see, because obviously in the States, there's a ton of content, there's a lot of people doing it, but we all face different challenges. In the States, it might be, competition might be a lot higher. In Canada, we face a different challenge, which is shipping costs. Essentially, we only have Canada Post. Of course, there is UPS and FedEx and DHS, whatever, but costs are just astronomical when you're trying to sell lower revenue items. So one thing you're going to have to do is probably aim a little bit higher price points because it's going to be very difficult to make profits on lower revenue items. That's my experience. Really with Canada Post, if you're going to add a tracker, which is definitely recommended, eBay doesn't make you, but if you're selling on Amazon, they definitely do. And to add a tracker in Canada, as you know, it starts at like $9 at least. So if you're selling a book, as an example, that, letter mail is $2, that's great. But now you're adding $9 surcharge on top of that just to get that tracking number. So in the States, and I'm sure other parts of the world, they have a benefit or an advantage of not having an astronomical shipping charge. So that's one of the things that we face as Canadians when reselling as a challenge. So it's kind of got to get creative and have more of a strict kind of guideline about what you're going to resell. So with all that being said, there are some things you can do to kind of help yourself, when reselling, to help yourself from losing money, which I have certainly done. I've lost money on both platforms, being eBay and Amazon. So things that I've done since losing money that I've learned is you do not have to charge free shipping. So that's something that I was doing on every listing, which was kind of silly, and I started losing money on because I thought my profits would be enough to cover it. Wasn't always the case, but sometimes it was. So you got to become a good judge at figuring out what to charge and what to make it free. If you have a lot of profit in an item that you can pretty much cover the shipping costs, then do it. For the items that I sell that seem to be like, I try not to buy anything that's going to be too big and bulky and heavy, so it seems like $15 typically covers my shipping within Canada. Sometimes it creeps up to the $20 mark, but normally there's enough profit there to cover it. So I do a standard $15 normally within Canada and then $25 to the States. I'll adjust that if I find there's a better way, but for now with what I'm selling, it seems to be working. I really like selling hockey cards because the shipping on that is just so plain and simple. You don't really need to put a tracker on it unless it's like a very high value card, in which case it's like $9, which in that situation the $9 isn't so bad. If you're selling the card, that's $100, it's not bad. But I don't do a lot of selling of sports cards, but it's something that I definitely want to get into just because it's a good experience. Like, it's easy to make the customer experience better with that because they're not paying those shipping costs. And an example of a sports card, and the person is buying like a Toronto Maple Leafs card. If you add a second card to it for free that's also Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going to get that and be very impressed by that. And it's an easy way to get some reviews. It's not going to cost you a lot of money because sports collectors, like, I have a lot of different cards, so I have a lot of different teams and I got a lot of cards I don't really care a whole lot about, so giving them away for free, not a problem at all. So that's something that I do. But kind of getting back to the kind of tips and advice, I really wanted to go FBM on Amazon, fulfilled by merchant, with my books. But after looking at the shipping costs, calculating things like, it really doesn't make sense. Amazon just has too good of relationships with their shippers, and it is cheaper, unfortunately, for me in Canada to use FBA. Plus, it is a little bit easier. Some things, some items, depending, like it gets down to a per book, per per SKU equation, because some books that weigh more and are bigger, you know, they're gonna cost more to ship. Amazon might make more sense then. But if there was a tiny book that was very lightweight but sold for a lot of money, that item probably would be better FBM. So you really gotta kind of weigh, but as a whole, I'm gonna tell you, Amazon FBA in Canada makes sense because the shipping cost. But it all comes down to with us is the shipping cost. So FBA makes a lot of sense. If you're selling on eBay, just charge your shipping costs. You got to find the right buyer. You know, don't be afraid to put that shipping on there. Start your bid at a reasonable kind of thing where you know you're not going to lose money on it, and you should be safe there. And when you're sourcing inventory, I mean, I guess, you know what, sourcing, we're going to do that for another video. This one is just about reaching those Canadian resellers out there, because I want to get to know you better. I just want to throw a few little words of wisdom at you and maybe get some back. And this is really, honestly, this whole video is just about reaching those Canadian resellers so we can kind of start to get to know each other and communicate and make something good happen. All right, see you next time.